Welcome to Slash Forward. In this video, we're going to continue examining Charles Band's obsession with murderous playthings. Let's get to it! We open on the side of the road as two scuzzy hitchers try to find a sympathetic motorist. They certainly don't receive this from Rosemary and David, two waspy pricks with no concern for anyone else. Karma comes back to bite them, however, when a storm rolls in and they find themselves stuck on the side of the road. Sort of. This movie plays a little fast and loose with what constitutes a road and how they got there. Regardless, they were on it and are now stuck. They hike off looking for a nearby residence to crash, securing her characterization as a wicked stepmother. Rosemary insists they'll be slowed down by Teddy and slings the poor bastard into the woods. Judy, tapping into the evolutionary memory of her DNA, has a Kaneda-like hallucination in which Teddy returns and goes to work, satiating his bloodlust along with giving them the old whoopsie-daisy. They arrive at a house and begin knocking on the door, but with no success. Judy goes around back and finds an unlocked basement entrance. When the rain picks up again, they opt to head in. They don't make it very far before the owners find them, and we find out that Gabriel is going to be played by our old friend Guy Rolfe, the Puppetmaster himself. Luckily, this elderly pair of magical dollsmiths are known for their no-strings-attached hospitality, and they welcome the family upstairs to get dried off. On the way, Judy hears some unusual chittering behind a locked door. Upstairs, they all share a creepy laugh, and Gabriel explains his history of doll making, providing Judy with a replacement for her lost Teddy. Right as they begin their meal, these three bust in. The kind-hearted Ralph, along with the two skanky hitchhikers from earlier. They immediately endear themselves to their new hosts by making inappropriate comments and eating straight from the stew pot. Despite this behavior, everyone is welcomed in and shown to their rooms, with a clear delineation. Jerk-offs upstairs, the young at heart downstairs. Gabriel takes Ralph and Judy to his workshop where he shows them his toys and has a very sincere conversation about how it's true that toys come to life and play when their owners aren't around. Then they're off to their rooms for the night. Meanwhile, upstairs, these two British slags blare their boombox and try to figure out what within the house is worth stealing. And Isabel soon sneaks off for some swiping. She finds herself in a room with some sweet teakin, and she begins filling her bag with trinkets while the dolls play some music box games with her, eventually disappearing from the mantel. As she looks around for the person messing with her, she gets pulled to the ground and rammed repeatedly into the baseboards. In the hallway, she's seen briefly by Judy, who's up for a nightcap, and then gets dragged off down the hallway. Judy runs off to tell her parents, who make it very clear that they have no time for her crap. The only thing that ultimately saves her from an epic backhand is the fact that it might cost Daddy a little extra child support in the long run. She runs off to tell Ralph instead, but he also tries to convince her of the absurdity of the situation, right up until he discovers blood on her bunny slippers.
Pretty bloody when they dragged her away.
They go off to explore, eventually finding the bloody trail, which leads them to the attic stairs. Ralph leads Judy up despite the fact that they're likely on their way toward discovering a murder scene. A quick lightning flash reveals Isabel's fate to us, but Ralph gets bit and tumbled down the stairs before they discover her. They run off to the guest rooms and rouse everyone, trying in vain to explain that something fishy is afoot, and everyone proceeds to freak the freak out, but for different reasons, none of which are totally congruent with the information Ralph shared with them. They instead assume him both a murderer and a pedophile. Upset by this, Judy runs off, and her dad chases her down. When she refuses to reveal herself, he threatens punch, but his string-bean arms defy his evil intentions. Elsewhere, Ralph runs into Gabriel and continues to absolutely act his nards off. Hey, good effort, pal. Gabe shrugs off the evening's incidents as a misunderstanding regarding some paint that he spilled earlier. Less easily shrugged off are the moving lumps co-occupying the bed with Rosemary. On the plus side, her bed is full of lovies to cuddle. On the negative, they are aggressively working to dismantle her. They stab and saw away at her until she throws herself out the window to escape. Meanwhile, Enid has gone looking for Isabel, and eventually also finds herself in the attic. This time she hears someone warning her away, and it's Isabel. Good work! But why does she need to go back? Oh, yeah, that's no good. Enid is then attacked by the dolls, and is the first to actually have any momentary success, cracking several open and revealing these little weirdos inside who act like wet gremlins as soon as they're relieved of their porcelain protection. Downstairs, she's confronted by toy soldiers. She has the right idea when she starts getting her belt swinging, but then she stops for reasons unknown and gets the old 8-gun salute into her torso, shredding her insides. Ralph and Judy try to get to the bottom of things at the locked door, which opens willfully. Inside are dolls, lots of rat-toothed dolls with bloodshot eyes. Judy can understand their chittering, but Ralph is unable to maintain and decides to bulldoze his way out. Let's go! This invokes their Lilliputian ire, but Judy is able to calm them, and they decide that the two may pass. David tries to get some daddy love, but gets this instead. Ew, he just got out of the shower, too. He runs off to find Ralph, assuming he's responsible, and runs across him and Judy right as they escape the doll room. He immediately goes to town and is just about to land the final blow when he starts to get jabbed with small, pointy objects. As he's distracted by this, Ralph and Judy are dragged off, although it's not clear how Judy became unconscious. After exacting his revenge on Punch, Gabe and Hillary show up and use their magic to turn David into a new Punch doll. The next morning, Ralph wakes up like this. The killer dolls! Gabriel feeds them a story about how the others left, and left a note about how Judy should go live with her mom. They left behind just enough money for Ralph to escort her back to Boston. Gabriel has only moderately believable answers to all the questions raised by Ralph, but since the choice is to either stay with the dolls or leave, they opt to ignore the inconsistencies in the story and jet out of there. As they do so, a new family driving on what this movie continues to try to convince us is a road gets stuck, starting the cycle all over again. And that was Dolls, a Charles Band-produced film directed by Stuart Gordon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.